What's up, guys? We're definitely not reacting to another Tom MacDonald music video.
We don't want to be like those other plebes on the internet.
No, we don't. And when you got $100,000 to spend on a beat, why not? So, dear Slim, let's see what you got to say.
Let's see.
Dear Slim, I thought you might have heard of me maybe, because lately everywhere I turn someone's comparing us crazy. I never would have thought when I was bumping Biggie and Pac that I would buy bleach in a box and become the product of shade. But I'm here now. Hi, my name is Tom
All right, pause
MacDonald.
it for a
People
second.
Oh, yep.
So the attention to detail, as either one of us has not seen this, thus far. Of course, I've been chomping at the bit, wanting to watch it the last couple of days since it's
You
dropped.
have been so patient. Like
yeah.
You are like a tomboy, like a
tomboy,
Tom MacDonald fanboy.
I'm a stan.
Yeah, whatever a Tom MacDonald fan would be called.
I don't know, but it's just for me, it's growing up listening to Eminem during that period in which basically Eminem just did not give a shit. Back then. For me, it's attention to detail, because I'm wondering how Tom MacDonald is going to portray this beat, but also Eminem. Is this a diss track? Is this a thank you video? I'm not real sure. But the one thing I will say is you have to pay attention to detail in this video, because the one thing I noticed right off the bat was the room. If you remember the Stan video that he did, Stan was in this room writing to Slim, and I kind of noticed that at the beginning of the video. But also pausing it right here, that looks like the car from the old Stan video when he drives it off the bridge. You remember that video?
I'd have to go back and watch, but I think you might be right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
For its spacious trunk.
Yeah.
And if you remember what the video was about, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty wild. Like I said, you're really going to have to pay attention to detail in this video, the way he's kind of reminiscing what it seems to me to throw back to the Stan video. This might be Stan 2.0.
Oh, so I did notice that the water is kind of running over
the top of the car.
The top of the car. I wonder if it shows like him swimming up out of the water, because the video kind of ended. The Stan video
with him going off
ended
the
with
bridge.
him going off the bridge in the water. I wonder if that's part. Yeah, that's kind of what that is going on there.
And you have to keep in mind too, this is something that a lot of people were kind of speculating how Tom MacDonald was going to diss Eminem on his own track, which I didn't think he was going to do, given the fact that he's been very much vocal about how much Eminem has influenced his music career as a rapper. So I didn't think that was the direction in which it was going to go, but I am interested to see how he's going to lyrically either thank or talk about Eminem. I guess.
It would be, I'm sitting here thinking, in the days of diss tracking here lately, it seems like everybody's got a diss track about somebody, and then you got to respond, and that in and of itself kind of creates its own headlines. I don't know. There might be a lot of people actually would absolutely love him to diss Eminem, especially for the differences in political opinions. Right. So that wouldn't surprise me. But I like you know more about Tom MacDonald's music and his past history and his career and whatnot than I do.
Right.
So I'm going to take your word for it. This is probably not that, but
for me, the only other time that we're kind of in this era of diss tracks, and the more notable song that I can remember that was kind of paying homage to another rap artist was Will Smith in the Joyner Lucas video called Will. And basically, Joyner Lucas had come out with this music video or song where he was kind of paying homage to Will Smith for influencing, Joyner Lucas's music career. And with that being said, it was later that Will Smith reached out to Joyner Lucas and said, "Hey, let me jump on this track with you." And it became a very, very just influential song for those that kind of idolize their music artist, people that they grew up listening to.
So it's amazing. We've made it a whopping like 14 seconds into the video and already had this much to say about it. I can only imagine what in the world the rest of this video is going to bring.
But here's the thing, though, is that Tom already creates enough controversy. Not saying that this video is, but when you're talking about Eminem, that in itself is going to create a lot of conversation. And you throw Tom MacDonald into the mix along with Eminem, a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about this. So,
well, let's see what else we got. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, that's good.
That's crazy. I never would have thought when I was bumping Biggie and Pac that I would buy bleach in a box and become the product of shade. but I'm here now. Hi, my name is Tom MacDonald. People call me controversial. I'm the one that counterculture follows. Every song I drop's a problem. I offend an awful lot with topics commenting on race and politics. I'm pretty awesome. Dear Slim, I know we're very different politically. Seems like some of your biggest fans are the victims.
Okay. So he mentioned the whole we're different politically, which is true because, as most of us know, you know, Eminem kind of dissed a lot of the conservatives that supported Trump.
Boy, did he.
Yeah, he did. But you know what? All things aside, I want to keep this more about the music than I do the political side of things. But Tom is right. There is that difference, but they still have a lot in common. I think that's kind of where he's going with this, is from what it sounds like.
On race and politics, I'm pretty awesome. Dear Slim, I know we're very different politically. Seems like some of your biggest fans are the victims I'm triggering. They're convinced I don't like you, which ain't consistent with history. I was picked on as a kid and they don't know what Slim did for me. But I'm here now.
Oh man, and they don't know what Slim did for me. Is like kind of what you're talking about. You know, It's like, and it seems like Tom's probably about the same age as we are. I don't know how old he is, but
no, I think he's early 30s. I'm in my 40s. So I just turned 40. Yeah,
I'm kind of like mid to late 30s. So, yeah, it just there's a lot of what I'm hearing and seeing. I'm just like I grew up with Slim like during my formative years, especially during early 2000s or whatnot. I remember the big album coming out where he was talking about the Twin Towers and all that right after all that had happened, and just hearing what he was, it's kind of this fuck the world, fuck the government, that kind of
right.
That kind of almost dropping truth pills back in the day before the internet really hit big, and it's.
Yep.
So to hear him also being influenced by that, and he's also, Tom MacDonald's also come to some of the same like political conclusions that I have and you have in terms of his older videos and stuff. It's just kind of neat to see that we can all be influenced by different people and respect different people even though we disagree ideologically, and still have respect for the other person. That's something that's missing in our world and our culture.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like Tom MacDonald is the Eminem of his early career, meaning as the artist. Not comparing, Tom MacDonald to Eminem, but as far as the way, Eminem was very much against the just the political and willing to push the boundaries, and that's kind of where Tom MacDonald is right now in his music career. So that's the similarities that they have, not as the individual or musically, but just kind of where they're at in their in his career.
And as a small side note, before we get back into it, I have noticed as I've gotten more familiar with Tom's music. I'm already familiar with Eminem's music, and one thing I always appreciated with Eminem and now with Tom is neither one of them sit there and brag about how much money they got, how many bitches they sleep with, how many cars they got. They're not flaunting their wealth, and they're talking about real shit, and that's what I really appreciated about Eminem back in the day. I haven't really listened to his last couple albums. I fell off the bandwagon, I guess. That's all right. But never once did I hear him, bragging about how, he bragged about his skill, which was undeniable. It's like, that's an undeniable skill, but it's like, that's one thing I've noticed between both of these artists that should be worthy of note. But let's continue, shall we?
We shall.
I was picked on as a kid and they don't know what Slim did for me. But I'm here now and I fight the system just like you. Was addicted to pills and liquor and quit them just like you. People claim that you hate me, but Marshall, that can't be right, dude. You'd have to hate yourself as well, because Marshall, I'm you.
Damn.
That's true. I mean, that is very much true. And it's not to say that he's comparing himself to Eminem as the person, but kind of the similarities that they had gone through. And I think that's where the internet's kind of losing its shit, because a lot of people are saying that Tom MacDonald's comparing himself to Eminem. I don't think that's right. I think Tom MacDonald is comparing his experiences as what he's gone through, and that's where a lot of people are not listening to the song. They're automatically assuming that he's comparing himself to Eminem as far as the artist.
And what's the number one strategy for like trying to have a conversation with somebody you disagree with? Well, you find points of similarity and then you build out from there.
Right.
And like that's actually pretty damn good strategy here. Is like, hey, he's saying, hey, these are some things that we have in common. You know, these are the struggles that I've been through that you also talk about having been through. And if what you're saying is true, and what I'm saying is true, you know,
there's similarities.
Yeah, there's similar. We're not so different.
Right, exactly. That's what he pointed out when he's saying that we don't agree with our political views, which is true.
That's one, and that's one aspect of many for sure.
But I think what it's showing is that you can agree to disagree on certain subjects, but you still can also have a lot in common. I guess is the kind of the way we can sum that up.
Absolutely.
Claim that you hate me, but Marshall, that can't be right, dude. You'd have to hate yourself as well, because Marshall, I'm you. Marshall, remember back when you became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen.
I like that. Stop that for a second. That you changed the world with a pen. I mean, think about, there is so much truth behind that. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I wonder if Eminem actually thought about how much his life was going to change when he was sitting down with that pen and started writing the lyrics for each song. Whether it was, you know, it was to make fun of people, you know, or to shock, you know, for shock value, or whatever the case might have been. I mean, you had to know that looking back when he sat down with that pen and paper, because he carries a notebook. Yeah. And I've seen in interviews where he talks about how he just writes, you know, things down.
Oh yeah, yeah. And in 8 Mile, you know, you see him while he's you know, working on lyrics and stuff. He's sitting on the bus and he's pulling out his notepad and he's right. And it was actually that's part of the reason I carry around a notebook with me today.
Okay,
all the time. I carry it like constantly. I've always got a paper and pen, and you know, I see stuff like that. I'm like, that's a good idea. You know, I'm always coming up with ideas. I need to have something available at all times.
Yeah.
You know, this was before we all had, like, you know, smartphones and everything else. You know, and the easy ability to type in notes. I can't use that. I still use my notebook. You know.
It's just. I mean, what's funny is back when he was writing the certain songs that have become what they are today, so iconic in our music, you know, genres, is that looking back, we now know how much of an influence it's had. But during that time, I don't think Eminem even realized how much of an impact he was going to have in music. So it's crazy. But that's where Tom MacDonald is pointing that out. Is, you know, he's explaining to not only the audience but to Eminem that you changed the world with just a pen. I like that.
Yeah.
You became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen. Well, now I'm just like you. I don't give a what, saying what I want with my fingers up. Everybody triggered and they think I suck, but I don't give a what. Nah, 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 nah. I don't give a what. Nah, 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 nah. Dear Slim.
Man, I don't know.
That na 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 is coming. It's going back to Eminem's song where he uses that in one of his tracks. So it's just you know, again, it's attention to detail. You know, Eminem going na na na. You know, he's done that before in one of his songs. So it's much as I don't really. Okay, here's what I want. Here is something I want to address. I love Tom MacDonald's music, but one of the things that has always kind of set me back is the chorus. Mm-hmm. For some reason, and you know, I might get a lot of hate for this, and that's fine, but I've never have particularly been a fan of Tom MacDonald's chorus. They just, for some reason, they never seem to click with me. It's just not something that I can just grab onto. But lyrically and musically, he is so talented. But that is just the one area that I would have to say that I just needs a little work.
Yeah,
it needs a little work. I mean, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to sit here, you know, as much as I enjoy Tom MacDonald's music, I would be lying to people that are watching this to say, "Oh my God, I love the chorus." I don't.
Yeah, that particular one, ending it with that na 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 na. I'm sure a lot of artists have said na 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 in their songs in some fashion or another, but it kind of, to me, the placement of it felt very like lazy writing.
I don't think it was lazy writing, but go ahead.
Well, no, I don't. I'm not saying it is lazy writing. Just say from a writing standpoint, it feels like feels like you get to the end of the line. I have heard artists do this. You get to the end of something and you just throw something in there because it rhymes, or just because it and you
or
can
you
just
come
tell,
up with writer's block,
or whatever the case is. And it's like it just almost seemed like he just kind of ran out of ideas and just threw that in there. I don't know if that's. I don't. You know,
I don't think so.
It may not be the case, but that just has that feel to me from a writer's standpoint. I'm not a musician.
No, I understand, but that's what I was trying to explain is that part is coming from an old Eminem song. I cannot remember which one it is. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, that specific line in itself is from an old Eminem song.
Well,
the placement of the chorus.
There is one song where it's like na 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 na.
Yeah.
Na 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 na.
So I that could be the very well the song.
That was with Dr. Dre.
I'm not sure.
What song was that?
The one that we're speeding down the road in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
What's the name of the song?
Oh,
Brain farting so hard. Anyway.
Yeah. So, anyways, no, that's just my personal opinion. It's just
That's what reaction videos are for.
I know, but here's the thing though: is when Tom does a song without the chorus. Oh my God, this shit's fire. But the chorus, like, there's just some. I don't know, man.
It's not quite clicking with you.
There's some songs that he nails it, but then there's other songs where it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So,
all right.
Dear Slim, I thought that maybe because you paved the way for me, you might relate to weight that Caucasian rappers are carrying. They're constantly comparing us to you. It's embarrassing. Never gaining their approval. It's just hate we're inheriting. But I'm here.
Ooh, never gaining their approval.
Oh my God, dude. It's just like any rapper that comes up, and especially if you're white. That is the one problem that a lot of rappers tend to deal with is the fact they're constantly compared to Eminem. Like, how do you get out from underneath that shadow of that is Eminem? I mean, it's like, how do we can basically separate, kind of separate ourselves from Eminem? How can you do that? Can you even do that? And it's like, it's a constant comparison, so I don't know.
I completely forgot what I was going to say now. I had a thought about it.
I mean, I think in some regards,
steamrolled right over me.
I think in some regards, it is a bit of it's a compliment to be compared to Eminem, depending on how it's taken. But to me, in a sense, it's like sometimes I don't want to be compared to Eminem.
Oh no, it's not even so much the being compared to Eminem thing as much as what I was just hearing was he's talking about the fact that he's white is seemingly more important to his fame in the industry than his actual skill.
Right.
They're so focused on the color of his skin that it's a white guy doing black music, like, and that becomes like
cultural appropriation,
the defining characteristic of somebody. And you're like, dude, like, why can't we just focus on the skill level of these guys? Like, why do we have to stay so hyper focused on the skin color first and then their skill? Like, you have to. Yeah. It's kind of like when you separate like men and women's sports, right, where women can they can do a lot, but when you try to put them in a men's world, they just can't compete. They just literally don't have the strength and endurance. But when you're talking about skin color, it's almost like they're trying to make that same difference, like as if, oh well, he's a white rapper, he's really good as a white rapper, but if he was black, he'd be all right. Like he would never be able to compete. Like it's almost that like you gotta trying to break out of that and just have your skill and your personality be the defining factor is so hard, I think, for anybody who happens to not be black in the rap industry.
I mean, you also have to consider too is that the genre of music we're discussing is hip hop. That is predominantly, black people.
No,
which is, I mean,
what?
I know, right?
What?
But yes, it's the comparison of race, but also comparing, Tom MacDonald to Eminem, which is a double whammy if you kind of look at it. So he's got two things going against him, and for Tom MacDonald, actually three things if you think about it, because he's also independent. He's got no help. So it's like he's got this uphill battle that he's constantly having to go up against because he's white.
Yeah, he didn't get signed by Dre.
He's compared to Eminem, and he's independent. I mean, you have to respect the level of grind that Tom MacDonald has to do on a consistent basis.
Tom didn't have a black guy in the rap industry to vouch for him.
That's the truth.
Embarrassing, never gaining their approval. It's just hate we're inheriting. But I'm here now. Go ahead and hate it, don't hurt. Call me culture vulture, garbage. Those are ignorant words. I kill a vulture, cook the poultry in a pan till it's burnt. See, Marshall, I'm just like you. I'm flipping the bird. Dear Slim, I just want to.
Culture vulture, flipping the bird. The level of play of words on this when it comes to
I've noticed in some of Eminem's later albums, not the latest albums because I haven't listened to them, but in some of the later albums, the way he does that wordplay,
word schemes.
Yeah, not the word schemes, but the word play. The way he kind of takes these just the word play, really.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a Tom MacDonald style lyric to me. That seems like a Tom MacDonald
influenced.
No, it seems like an Eminem influenced Tom MacDonald lyric. If I'm hearing that correctly, because when Eminem talks about certain things like that, I don't know. There's a certain style in the way they present ideas that I've never heard of the few songs I've heard of Tom's. Him do that, like what I'm saying, not quite like that.
I get it.
It's a different style of presenting ideas.
But again, that could be his way of paying homage to Eminem.
Right, absolutely. And it might be also just because I'm hearing it and we're all connecting all the things, so I might just be hearing,
I'm just like you, I'm flipping the bird. Dear Slim, I just want to give you your flowers. I spent hours memorizing all of your songs in 2000. You were the reason.
Wait, what's that mean? I just want to give you your flowers.
Well, that kind of goes back to the Joyner Lucas and Will Smith song, Will.
Yeah.
Basically, giving someone a rose or flowers is their way of saying thank you, or I appreciate what you've done for me. That's what that means.
When I give somebody flowers because I want to get laid.
No, I mean, it's just, again, we're in an era where you hear nothing but diss tracks. So when you have an artist that's coming up that wants to say thank you, this is their way of doing it. Mm-hmm. This was Tom MacDonald's way of spending $100,000 on a track that was produced by Eminem. And basically, from what I'm gathering so far, is he's thanking him. He's letting Eminem know what he's done for him, not only in his personal life, but in his music life as well. So, yeah, this is kind of where this is going. He is paying homage to Eminem, and basically he's giving him flowers to say, man, I appreciate what you've done for me. Thank you for helping me during hard times. Here's your flowers. A lot of people don't do that, especially when the artist is alive. Typically that happens after an artist has passed on.
Oh, yeah,
so
true.
to do that while they're still alive is really unique, but it's also something we don't see very often.
I just want to give you your flowers. I spent hours memorizing all of your songs in 2000. You were the reason I screamed at all of my teachers. A teen, I needed your CD on repeat and Shady's face on my t-shirt.
I can remember.
Did you notice that?
What's that?
He said, I loved your songs in 2000.
Well, again, it's he's going.
Like, I wonder if he's just saying that back in 2000, that's when he influenced me the most, or if he's saying that I don't really love your songs nowadays, but I loved them back in 2000.
No, I don't think that's what it is. I think we're kind of going back to Stand back during that album.
Yeah, and
I think he's referencing back when Eminem was a bigger influence on his life, Tom MacDonald.
And let's not forget that was an amazing album. That was so much fun. It was just like middle fingers out, don't give a fuck, just having fun with music. And it was so much fun. Yeah. Like I would love listening to music just because it was funny. Like Eminem has a great sense of humor, and the way he showed that in his music. And especially back then, it was like it seemed like as time went on, it got a lot more serious. Like life was.
Well, and I think that's okay. You hear a lot of people talk about how much Eminem has sold out. I don't think Eminem sold out.
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Oh, dude, it's all over the internet.
I don't pay attention to Eminem.
I don't think Eminem ever sold out. I think what happened is Eminem grew up. And I think that's okay. I think that he's kind of matured in his own sense of his own right when it comes to producing and making music. And, Eminem, we're not all the same people we were back in our 20s. I'm not the same person I was, 20 years ago. I've evolved. I've changed my views, whether it's political or parenting or whatever it is, have changed. So when you listen to Eminem now compared to what he was back in his 20s, he's grown up, and that's okay. Doesn't mean he's sold out. I've never understood that whole idea of selling out, to me. But, and I think that's where a lot of people are just not understanding that we as individuals, we evolve. And I think that's okay. But yeah, this whole selling out thing is just, I don't think so.
I said the last real fun song for me that I remember from Eminem was the WTP White Trash Party.
Well, and here's the
that
thing:
song is so much fun.
A lot of your older Eminem fans,
it kind of reminded me of it reminded me of some of his older stuff. Is why I really liked it. It's like
it's just Eminem is, you have to understand though. It's like back then he can't stay Slim Shady forever.
Why not? No,
he can't stay Slim throughout his entire career.
Look, if Disturbed can put out 10 albums with basically the same guitar riff over and over and over again, Eminem can be Slim Shady the rest of his life. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't agree to that, but yeah, I know you're kind of messing around, but yeah.
CD on repeat and shady space on my t-shirt, but I'm here now. They call me controversial just like you. We're both white, both rap, both of our eyes blue. Screw any guy who tries to say you changed and don't like you, cause in my mind it's still 99 and I'm you.
And I'm you.
Yeah. You became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen. Well, now I'm just like you. I don't give a what, saying what I want with my fingers up. Everybody triggered and they think I suck, but I don't give a what.
Is he saying I don't give a white na 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 na?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't give a what na 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 na.
I don't. It could be one or the other, but yeah, I'm not too sure. And I will say this: as the video has gone on, and the more I'm hearing the chorus, it seems like it's going to take a few times of me listening to it for it to grow on me.
All right. I have heard a number of songs like that, especially from like my favorite band, Tool. Yeah. There was a song. There was an album that came out, 10,000 Days. That whole album, like when I first heard it, I completely hated one of the songs because it was so different from what their normal stuff was.
Yeah.
And the more I listened to it, because I would just have it on the CD playing, and the more I listened to it, like I would start hearing it. It was the one about the aliens abducting somebody. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but basically. That's funny. I just said it's my favorite band, and then I can't even remember the name of a damn song. Not the point. I don't pay attention to song names. I just listen to music. Anyway, the more I listened to the song, the more I heard what it was about, and the more it grew on me. I'm like, and now it's like one of my favorite songs on the album. It's really weird, and I hated it when I first heard it.
Well, and that's kind of the thing I've learned. It's kind of been the cycle with Tom MacDonald, is that you have to listen to the song a couple of times, and it does start to grow on you. I can't tell you how many times I've sent a song of Tom MacDonald's to somebody else, and they're like, yeah, it might take a minute for it to grow on me. And like I said, as I'm listening to this, it is catchy. Don't get me wrong. But again, it'll take probably a few listens. So.
Right on.
Whether you love me or hate me, you think I'm crazy. Count $100,000 to get a beat from Shady.
Oh, sorry. One more thing on the chorus there. Again, the beat itself is I like the beat. Mm-hmm. I just obviously, as he's saying right now, it's from Eminem.
Well, the beat was titled "Stan's Revenge."
Stan's Revenge. Well, I'm just saying, as far as again that na 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 part, I like the beat behind it. I like the musicality of what he's saying. I just don't particularly care for the choice of how we. I feel like it could have ended stronger. That chorus could have ended a little stronger. I'm not sure. I don't know what he would have said.
So, do you think that going this far into the music video, do you think Eminem will respond to Tom MacDonald's video?
I don't know. It seems like I feel like he would have to at some point,
I don't think he has to, but
well, when you put out this thing, let me finish here. When you put out this NFT, which is a non-fungible token, we talk about cryptocurrency stuff. Mm-hmm. So Eminem's getting on board with that, and when you buy an NFT, it's like a digital. It's a digital version of like a one of a kind asset. Yes, I'm sure Eminem still has copies of it around, but it's not the same as the NFT. The NFT means Tom MacDonald
rights to it.
Owns it. It is his now. There's Eminem has no say or influence, or like he's just let it go into the world. He's not going to make royalties on it. Well, actually, I think some NFTs allow you to. Anyway, so you do this thing, you create an NFT and you create a bunch of buzz around it, and then Tom MacDonald. Buys it. He's a pretty big name now in terms of the independent industry here. I feel like you would have to say something. Like, I don't know what the response is going to be, but I feel like you would be kind of doing a disservice to everybody involved in this like new thing, and as far as drawing attention to NFTs and what they can do for the music industry. Like,
I wonder, you know, and this is kind of where sometimes it's just wishful thinking, but you know, we saw what happened again, to reference to Joyner Lucas and Will Smith, but what if Eminem kind of done the same thing with Tom MacDonald? What if he actually, you know, basically did a "You're Welcome" kind of track, and kind of a, you know, I mean, that's got to be humbling to hear a song that had that much influence over one individual, but he's also kind of speaking on behalf of a lot of individuals that had similar, you know, situations that they went through, and they turned to Eminem's music for that.
right.
So it's almost as if Tom MacDonald's standing at the top of the mountain, you know, telling Eminem, everybody that's below me, you know, this is what you've done for us. That has to kind of sit with you in a way that's very humbling, but also it's a perspective of how much that man's music has influenced millions. And I'm sure Eminem probably knows, but to hear it like this, that this is on a different level.
Yeah.
You took $100,000 and you paid for this NFT to basically say thank you on behalf of me and everybody else that has followed your career.
Wow, I would say if I'm going to take a guess, a prediction right now, I'm going to predict Eminem does respond. Now,
I don't.
Let me finish. I'm going to predict he does respond. Now, to the level at which he does respond, like whether it's just like a press release with a comment, or some kind of an interview where he kind of is asked a question and he says something about it,
right.
Or he goes to the effort to the point of, like you said, maybe creating a whole nother track just in response. Like the level at which I can't say for sure, but I feel like he's going to respond. I'm predicting Eminem will respond in some.
If he did a track to correspond to Tom MacDonald, man, that would break the internet.
Hell yeah.
In a time, again, where we're constantly talking about diss tracks, if we had something like this that happens, this kind of unifies people, because people tend to correlate music, you know, with life, right? So with that being said, it's like we're kind of in this constant state of division right now in our society.
Yeah.
And the one thing that kind of brings people together is music. So if there was a way that Eminem could turn this into a way to kind of bring, because Eminem politically is different than Tom MacDonald. We know this. It's been talked about, especially coming from Tom MacDonald. So if they can kind of show a little bit of, they have a lot in common, but we're not so different.
Oh my God.
And
like the unity that would create.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
absolutely.
music has such a big influence over our lives.
Lord, I hope
this
you're right.
could be a way to really
you're
kind
right.
of somewhat and make a little bit of a dent, and I think in our society, to kind of unify people. I know this is kind of far reaching, and I know this is kind of a different perspective, but
some people might
that's
even call
kind
it Pollyannish.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, I would love to see that happen. I really would.
All right.
You hate me, you think I'm crazy. Dropped $100,000 to get a beat from Shady. I really hope when I bought it he wasn't angry, but I really had to tell him that he changed me. The truth of the matter is, without you, Marshall Mathers, I would have committed suicide before I was a rapper. You showed me that I could.
Whoa. Play that again. Hold up.
Yeah, that was kind of deep.
Hold up.
But I really had to tell him that he changed me. The truth of the matter is, without you, Marshall Mathers, I would have committed suicide before I was a rapper. You showed me that I.
Damn, I like, if that's not a statement of how
much of an influence.
your, like, literally he's saying your music saved my life, not changed my life, not influenced, saved my life.
But again, that's how much. Again, going back to what we were talking about, you know, music having that much of an impact.
You gotta
on
read,
our-
man. I'm sorry if I'm Eminem and I don't respond. Like, I'm sorry, you would be a total dickhead if you didn't respond. I mean, just it's something. Even if it's just small, like, hey, I appreciate that. You know, just something small, like anything. There's got to be a response. Got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Eminem is at a different place in his career right now. Again, talking, you know, like we did recently about, you know, him not being the same individual he was musically or professionally, you know, from way back when to now. He has grown up. So there could be this slim chance.
Oh, you really liked that, didn't you?
I did. No, there could be this slim chance that he comes back and because of where he's at with his music career now, where, I mean, he's already established so many things. Yeah. So what the hell, Eminem? Just, you know, do a song that kind of not only wraps Tom MacDonald into it, but also all your fans that have gone through the struggles and gone through the addictions, and and basically just say, hey, I get it.
I'm just sitting here thinking I'm much shadier with my puns, and it really doesn't matter. So
we could do a whole show just on Eminem puns.
Please don't.
Matter is without you, Marshall Mathers, I would have committed suicide before I was a rapper. You showed me that I could do it. I didn't need to be blacker. I know it's stupid, but I just had to do my best to say thank you.
There it is.
That's definitely not a diss track.
You changed the world with a pen. Well, now I'm just like you. I don't give a what, saying what I want with my fingers up. Everybody triggered and they think I suck, but I don't give a what. I don't give a what. Marshall, remember back when you became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen. Well, now I'm just like you. I don't give a what, saying what I want with my fingers up. Everybody triggered and they think I suck, but I don't give a what. I don't give a what.
I don't give a what. Great job by Nova once again. Her editing and video skills are phenomenal.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get her to help edit the Unframe of Mind show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, how awesome would our commentary be with backdrops like that?
That would be great. Kind of wrap this up. This was a very good song by Tom MacDonald. Again, still kind of on the fence with the chorus. I'm sure it'll probably grow on me over time. Will Eminem respond? We don't know. I got a feeling that this song is going to blow up the internet. So we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens.
So before we started this video, like one of the things that you notice is before we even had a chance to watch it, this thing already had 3 million views and it just dropped Friday.
Yeah, I clicked on the video. I didn't actually watch it, but I noticed that it was close to 3 million views, trending number 9 on YouTube. It's number 4 on the iTunes hip hop chart.
Damn.
Articles from Yahoo to, all the different,
And you were so good. Like, you were so patient. Because usually these things, you have already seen it and I'm the one reacting because I have not seen it. But you decided, I'm going to practice a little self-control, or a lot of self-control.
Dude, I have had to stay off social media like this, and that's not like me because of what we do for the show, but it's been so hard not to get on social media because as I was doing that, like a lot of people I'm friends with, especially in the music industry that I know, are sharing this video out, and it's just like,
come on, guys,
don't do this. This is torture.
All right,
man.
so what did you guys think about this particular song by Tom MacDonald? Do you feel like he did it justice? Do you feel like the whole thing with the NFT was something? I am excited for that personally because of the future of crypto and the future of what things like NFTs can do for musicians and artists and whatnot.
Yeah.
Getting the record labels completely out of the equation, or at least for the most part, putting more of the money into the actual pocket of the musician, that would be amazing. But what did you guys think about that? Is there something that you feel like he could have done better with the chorus, or did you like the chorus? I don't know.
Oh, let's also not forget that the $100,000 that was placed on this beat all went to charity.
Yeah,
let's not forget that. That's important to kind of point out. So
right on. Yeah, it wasn't just like he just like pocketed the money, but then again, I don't know. You're Eminem. I don't know that you needed the $100,000.
You got to think in a world where to get a beat by Eminem, this potentially could have gone a lot more as far as cost.
Yeah, right.
This to me, in my opinion, Eminem does not just throw out any beats for people to get.
I would be curious who else was bidding for this thing. Like, what other artists?
I've seen the list. I cannot remember who was on the list. It's not people that I know, though.
Oh, okay. Got you.
I think the last one I saw was like $87,000.
That's still pretty good, though. That's pretty damn good.
He's an independent artist with a Eminem beat, paid $100,000.
That's incredible. Congratulations on your success on that. So until next time, this has been yet another not a reaction video.
No, we don't do
reaction videos.
No.
We talk about real shit.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button, of course, because, I feel like we earned it. You've been watching the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I'm your host, Danny Wegner.
Anthony Trewick.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.